Welcome to another episode of Executive Corner right here on JFF Live. I'm Simon Preston. Thank you all so much for watching. As you can see, we have a very special guest joining us today. This is someone that knows what it's like to wear the black, green and gold of Jamaica. 32 caps and 3 goals for Jamaica, and has also represented Jamaica at the CONCACAF Gold Cup. It's none other than Khari Stephenson. Khari, how are you doing? All is well?
Yeah, always good seeing you. Always good catching up.
Absolute pleasure. How are you doing? How's the family doing? And, we appreciate your time.
Good, doing well, family as well. Life is good, can't complain.
All right, wonderful, wonderful. And as you know, we're here in San Jose, California, ahead of the CONCACAF Gold Cup. Of course, we've seen you show your face around camp. In previous times, we've had matches in the Gold Cup. Persons will be wondering, what's Khari up to nowadays? Is Khari still involved in football, a different industry? What's Khari up to nowadays?
So right now, not as involved in football as I used to be. My old team, the San Jose Earthquakes, is still in town on occasion. I'll help with whatever needs to be, whether it's parents, being at a camp, signing autographs. Always happy to help wherever I can. But outside of that, my day to day, I'm in Silicon Valley. This is the epicenter of technology. So I'm currently working at Cisco Systems. I've been there for 4.5 years. I'm the global lead for strategy and planning on the customer experience side for Cisco's consulting services.
Khari, one of the things I've always, thought about, especially being California, this part of the world, and of course, where we're coming from, Jamaica, the time difference, the difference in culture, how you manage or settle into this environment, you could say.
Well, I've been away from home now, 26 years. I've been living away from home, and including 6 years of school, and then, playing professional for 12 years. It's, as an athlete, you kind of have to be adaptable. You find your routines, you find what works for you. And I've figured out a way just over time to find a way just to kind of integrate into society. And I was telling someone today that, how Jamaicans will blend in.
Right.
So I found a way to just settle down and kind of blend in.
Of course, we know about the time that you spent not only in Scandinavia, but in the MLS as well. Many seasons here in San Jose. Tell us about some of the experiences that you've had in terms of club football first, before we get to the international side of things. The experiences you've had in Scandinavia and, of course, in North America as well.
So here in San Jose, we won the Supporter Shield, which is the team with the highest point total at the end of the season before the playoffs. Played in the CONCACAF Champions Cup or Champions League, whatever it's called. Yeah. So had some good experiences with the club. We've played in the Open Cup. We've gone to, the MLS Cup semi-final where we had won that final game, we would have gone into the finals. Yeah. So, I've experienced ups and downs, being one of the top teams in the league to one of the worst teams in the league. So, there's a lot that you learn in sports that you can take forward in life. Yeah.
All right. And of course, in Scandinavia, winning the Norwegian Cup as well, 2009, I believe.
Yeah. So first was in Sweden at, guys in Gothenburg, AIK in Stockholm. At AIK, we played in the Europa Cup, Europa League, UEFA Cup. They switched the names right around that time. And then going to Ålesund, we won the Norwegian Cup. And by winning the Norwegian Cup, we got into the Europa League. So, but great experiences on both sides. I was highly scouted. I almost ended up in the Premier League at one point. So, but life happens, and we're on our own paths.
I mean, it's in retrospect and we're reflecting now, but in terms of those situations, would you say that there were conversations? Would you say there were discussions in terms of England?
There are more than conversations. There were teams that came and scouted 5 times. And for the most part, if they come 6 times, the 6th time is like, all right, we're signing. We're good. So they came 5 times and, did well, but sometimes they need to see you head and shoulders above everyone else. So, and that's life sometimes.
Yeah. In terms of, from a Jamaican standpoint, I remember November 2004 against St. Martin, the first time I've seen you on the pitch for Jamaica. Just to go through that journey with you as well, winning a Caribbean Cup, playing in a Gold Cup, just reflecting on your experiences with Jamaica, playing against some of the top 10 best teams in the world, Ghana, England. Just wanted you to summarize the experiences you've had playing for Jamaica.
Growing up, I used to ball boy. I used to ball boy at National Stadium for some of the Caribbean Cup games, some of the World Cup qualifying games, and just be able to represent the country to play at the National Stadium at the office in front of friends and family. For me, it was one of the most, I don't know, it's one of the best feelings in the world that you could have. I'm not going to say it's, I made it, that was my career, but, as a kid growing up to represent your country, for me, that was one of the things I've always wanted to do. So, playing the Caribbean Cup, the first one I played, 2004, I made my senior team debut 4 months earlier. Just wrapped up my first season in Kansas City, where as a rookie I started in the MLS Cup final. So being able to come home that off season to play in the Gold Cup, and we ended up winning the Gold Cup that year. So, that was a great first season to start things off, going to the MLS Cup. Unfortunately lost. I won the Open Cup in San Jose that year. And then winning the Digital Cup was a great time.
And I'm just reflecting on that journey as well, because the preliminary round of St. Martin, USVI, 80 games, 3 games which you scored in, and of course that sort of led like momentum heading into the latter stages in 2005 in Barbados for the final, and then of course the Gold Cup, where of course venues like these are not unfamiliar to you. A Gold Cup and played for Jamaica as well.
Yeah, we had a core group of guys who, some of them played in the U17 World Cup, some played in the U20 World Cup. Players born and raised in Jamaica, played Manning Cup, Augusta Cup, that all went away to play, some in England, some here in the US. And, for us back then, it was guys you've grown up playing with for the last 10 years and having that connection, people who know you. Obviously things have changed a bit, but, Jamaica has always had a good group of players, even those in the diaspora. So, I'm always looking forward to what Jamaica can bring,
Yeah. Something else a lot of people might not remember or might have to be reminded of is, of course, 2001 in Argentina, the Under-20 World Cup. Just to say that you've been at a World Cup with your country, it must be an amazing moment just upon reflection of those experiences.
Oh, absolutely. It's the first and only time Jamaica has made the U20 World Cup. It's similar structure to the World Cup, but, just 20 and under.
Yeah.
So being able to represent Jamaica on that stage, definitely a great feeling. I think if I didn't play in all the games, I probably played in some. But we were the only team to score against Argentina, who made it to the finals, and we tied with Egypt, who went to the finals unlocked. So even though we didn't make it out of the group stage, we actually gave a good showing of ourselves.
Yeah, picking up a point at the World Cup as well against Egypt, a clean sheet there.
Yeah.
Rubbing shoulders with Saviola, Colaccini.
Yeah, Alessandro,
yeah. And very great experiences there. And of course, Khari, being in camp, you'd have seen and met a couple of the players and the staff around, and you've been would have followed Jamaican football, just your general thoughts on the progression so far we've seen in recent times.
Yeah, it's, I actually had a chat with the coach, and obviously integrating into life in Jamaica, building a new team and looking forward to the future. Everything has its challenges. This is what it is. But, I like the progression where things are going. Nothing will be perfect, and it does take time. So people who may be saying, things don't look good, let's make changes, give it time. Everything needs time. It's like you're building a house. You don't start on day 1 and it's ready on day 20. It does take time. And there are all these little tweaks that need to be made. So, progression is good. Give it some time, and, I'm happy and I'm looking forward to what the future.
Yeah, sounds good. And when we were just talking to him recently, he just asked if you played in that England-Jamaica game, friendly, back in 2006. He said the face is familiar.
Yeah.
So time goes by so fast,
Time does go by, and that was almost 20 years ago. How time flies.
I think you were saying that the Gold Cup in 2005, 20 years ago as well.
Yeah, so that was the first and only Gold Cup I played in. If I remember correctly, the media had me as Jamaica's best player of the tournament. So we gave a good showing. I believe we topped the group, made it through to the second round, and then ended up playing US in Boston, where we ended up losing 2-1. I think it's not 1-0. So, the better team on the day doesn't always win, and I think we gave a good enough showing to have won that game. But, the score is what the score was.
Yeah, but Khari, we appreciate your time. Thank you very much for always, being a great ambassador for our country. And all the best on the next chapter of your career in terms of the industry you're in. And, we look forward to seeing you again very, very soon.
Thanks for your time. Looking forward to it. Always a pleasure.
All right, folks, this was Khari Stephenson on the Executive Corner. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe.